Mac Miller, Donald Trump on 5FM at 7:38. America about to go to the polls. By 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, we should know who the leader of the free world is. We'd like to introduce you guys to JP Kloppers. He's CEO of BrandsEye. They're a company that tracks social media conversations and predict the outcome of certain events or things. So, for instance, they correctly predicted Brexit. They correctly predicted our local municipal elections, and all of this based on social media sentiment. What's going to happen in America over the next 23 hours? That is the question. JP, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Fresh. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, what have you guys generally been picking up before we get into the nitty-gritty of what social media is saying?
I think we've been picking up that the American elections is more of a reality TV roller coaster show.
Yes.
Than an election. It's been crazy to watch. I mean, over 3 million people, 30 million conversations. It's just a huge, huge deal.
Now, there's been a lot of talk around vote rigging. Have you seen much conversation about this on social media?
Yeah, surprisingly a lot. I mean, there was 10 times more conversation about vote rigging, when talking about vote rigging and the elections, yes, compared to Donald Trump's whole sex tape scandal. That's just a staggering amount of people that think the vote is rigged in the U.S.
Yes.
He's, again, struck a chord with the disenfranchised American that feels like politicians are out to get them.
Okay, so you think Donald Trump's little rant about how if he doesn't win, it's rigged, obviously played a big role then?
It has played a big role.
Yeah.
It has played a big role. He can say, I think, like with Brexit, this information's been more about this, at least this election's been more about disinformation than fact. It's how people feel rather than what the truth is.
Exactly.
And he can say anything, like,
yes,
the election's rigged, and people believe it, much more than they should believe the stuff that is important,
Now, there's been a lot of last-minute campaigning, especially in the so-called battleground or swing states. What's social media saying in that regard?
Yeah, it's been an enormous swing. I think we saw it with Brexit also, this kind of swing on the last day towards the Remain camp. And as we know, the vote went Leave. It was too little, too late.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a very similar trend. Hillary campaigning hard. I mean, up till a week ago, maybe a week and a half, Trump, on social media at least, was ahead in all 11 battleground states.
Yes.
It was a staggering thing to see. And then the FBI retracted their investigation into the email saga, and that has helped her. So I mean, if depending on how you look at the data, if you just look at people speaking positively, Hillary's back in the lead in Florida, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And if that's the case, she'll take it. The election's hers.
7:41. Yeah, carry on.
If you include the negative conversation, though, she's only ahead in 3.
Sure.
So if we and this election's been more about negatives than positives. And the big question which I have is, if somebody is out there saying, I don't trust Hillary, does that mean that they'll vote Trump?
Sure.
And vice versa? And that we didn't see in Brexit. It wasn't a case of we don't trust the other camp. It was more a case of this is what we want to do.
In fact, this election is almost about whom do I hate the least.
Yeah, exactly, and it's an indictment on modern day politics that if you're going up against Donald Trump and you're losing, yes, you've got to ask some very big questions about who you are and your ability to lead, because you just have to stand up and deliver, really,
yes, against
him.
7:42, we're hanging out with JP Kloppers from BrandsEye. They track social media activity and conversations, and they predict outcomes. What value would you say social media has provided in these elections?
I think what it's given us is the kind of raw emotion. So it mimics polls and it kind of leads it to an extent by a week or two.
Yeah.
That we see plays out a bit later. But what it gives us that polls battle to express is that kind of the direction and the emotion. So which way is the surprise going to happen, and what's striking a chord? Because what you don't see in mainstream media, and to an extent, it's again playing right into Trump's hand, is the large volumes of supporters that Trump has on social media. And if that's any indication of what's happening on the ground, there are a staggering number of people that back him and want to see real change in America, and would be willing to go to the kind of depths of voting for a reality TV star rather than an experienced politician.
Sure.
And that you don't get that feeling in the polls. You don't see how frustrated American people are, and how the crazy things that he says just strikes a chord. People are frustrated. They want jobs. They're tired of seeing the kind of jobs going to foreigners, and they want their national identity back. And that's dangerous rhetoric, but it's how people feel.
Sure. Now, the big question, based on what BrandsEye have picked up on social media, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, who's president?
Wow, it's been so hard. I knew it was coming to this, and I was hoping the phone would die.
I was waiting for you to say, guys, I can't hear you. The signal is bad.
Yeah, I can't blame Telkom this time. Yeah, look, if it was just based on our data and kind of what we're seeing playing out on social media, I think Trump still got the edge. But I think this election's, I'm going to be like the economist who says, on the other hand, give me a one-handed economist. I'm going to be a social media elections predictor with two hands and calling it both ways. There's like the Latino vote, and the fact that a lot of people who are speaking on social media probably aren't registered to vote, or maybe aren't going to vote, and that's also we didn't have in Brexit. So I think with those two factors, just seeing like the people who aren't speaking, like the Latinos, are going to play a big role.
In fact, before you answer that, but for instance, with the black voter in the U.S., apparently only 2% of black voters say they'd vote for Trump. Only 2%. What role do you think the black vote will play in this election, based on what you guys are seeing?
I think that black vote is going to be massive. And if you look at what Clinton's done these past couple of days, I mean, the people she's had out, President Obama, Jay-Z, Beyonce, just these kind of big-name tickets appealing to younger audiences, and you could argue young black audiences.
Yes.
That's why she's brought out those guys. And if they come out and vote, she'll take it. I think it is that close at the moment.
JP, who's winning tomorrow?
Yeah, but based on...
I want one answer. I want one answer.
You want one answer?
Yes. Nothing else. One word. Who's winning tomorrow?
Who is winning tomorrow? Okay, based on our data, I'm going to give you the BrandsEye data answer, which is Trump. But I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong. If you're right, stay in London, bro. JP, thank you very much. Enjoy your stay in London.
Good. Thanks.
That's JP Kloppers, CEO of BrandsEye. So according to social media sentiment, Trump should just take it.
Fine, I've got my American visa.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go.
How? Already?
No, I'm scared that if he becomes president,
with the
then we'll never get...
With the profiling?
We'll never be allowed in. Yeah. But now I'm like, I've got the visa already. At least for the next few years, I can go.
He could cancel it.
Yeah, he could.
but he couldn't. Things are not that easy to just do. So, fear not. Even if he does win, we're still safe.
You have the power.